Spencer's off the rails. One summer's day on the island of Sodor, Spencer was resting in a siding. Sometimes, he said, it's really reliable for me to doze about around. He went on while he was relaxing. When Henry arrived, beep, 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 he said, hello, lol, fat face, he said. Cheeks, he said. Cheeks, that silly Henry, he said. Fancy him speaking to me like that. And already he's never had an accident, he said. Let me guess, said Skarloey, you unsleeping about, being a nosy little engine, talking about safety valve accidents, he said, and chuffed away. Spencer was cross. He didn't want to pull the Duke and Duchess's coach. He wanted a rest, so Henry had to do his job. Be careful, Henry, he said. You're not pulling the flying kipper now. Mind you keep on the rails today, he said. But Henry ignored Spencer. He was coupled to his coach, and Henry puffed away. Spencer, said his driver, there's a goods train is ready, and you are to pull it. Is it coaches or trucks, he said. Is it coaches or trucks, he said. It's trucks today, he said. Oh, great, said Spencer. I won't move. Spencer's driver tried to move him, but it was no good. And with that, Spencer's fire was so slow, and so Thomas had to pull Spencer. Thomas was coupled to Spencer and chuffed in. I won't go, said Spencer. I won't go, he said. Don't be silly, sang Thomas, and he carried on pushing Spencer. Spencer tried to plough his brakes, but Thomas was too strong for him. They were switched in Bluebell Bridge by the points, and so Spencer didn't really want to move. And with that, Thomas left him there, and he puffed away. Goodbye, Spencer, said Thomas, and puffed away. Spencer was cross. I'll show them, he said. And with that, Spencer wasn't looking as he slipped into a ditch. Oh, he hissed. Get me out, he said. We can't, said his driver. You're stuck, and we'll have to phone the Fat Controller. Later, the Fat Controller was chatting. Later, the driver and fireman were chatting to the Fat Controller. About Spencer. Spencer doesn't want to pull the Duke and Duchess's Special Express today, he said. We'll see about that. Right, said the Fat Controller. I'll send an engine to do his job, he said, and the Fat Controller walked away. Later, some schoolboys saw Spencer and sang songs about him. Silly old Spencer fell in the ditch. Silly old Spencer fell in the ditch all on a Monday morning. Spencer stood at the ditch all day, and he didn't dare come out. One night came, however, and James and Molly were ready to pull Spencer out. He was too cold to move, so James had to pull him. James moved and moved. Spencer is only bigger than James. Spencer was too strong for James. Molly had hold of James, and together the two engines pulled and pulled, and at last Spencer was back on the rails. Spencer now on became a sad and wiser engine, and now his buffers were dirty, even his face too, even his front wheel, and all of him was really dirty. At the next night, Spencer crawled home, a sadder and wiser engine who will never do as he is told. All the engines made fun of him, and Spencer didn't care at all. He was being very silly indeed, and everyone had to agree. Even the Duke and Duchess, even the Fat Controller as well.